You beautiful people, welcome back to another Hiker Plays video. Today we are going to be talking about a brand new account and sort of what sort of teams you should be going for day 1, day 2, day 3, and by the end of the week. So if we jump into our squads, let's try and emulate what a brand new account would have. So typically you wouldn't have access to any of these heroes, so we'll get rid of them. I'm pretty sure you start with Goku and Trunks, and then I think you start with a Bulma, or is it Tien? I think it's Tien. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been Bulma or Tien, but either way, it doesn't matter because long term you want to get rid of them anyway. So once you play the game, you start to get to, I think it's like 1-4-1-5. You will get given your first 5-star character. You'll do your first pull and get your hands on Android. Now, Android is a brilliant attacker for week 1. As a free-to-play player, you're going to want to be playing through the story, and this is typically the team you're going to be using to, grind through the story. It's worth noting that down the line, you are going to get a couple more heroes, and, as you start pulling, you're going to find that you can start to replace these guys. One hero I really like to use, and everyone will have him at some point, is Krillin. I love to throw this blue Krillin in. I think he does a lot of damage early on. And if you actually look at his kit, he is really, really strong. It's a shame we can't get him beyond 5-star. But if you want him, he can cheese you through quite a lot of stages. Definitely worth using. So as you start to approach the end of day 1, you're going to get given some options. So firstly, you're going to get a bunch of summons. There's tons of codes. Go look up the Discord and you will find codes there. Enter all those codes, you'll get a bunch of summons, and hopefully, with a bit of luck, you'll hit 1 or 2 5-stars, and with a bit of luck, 1 or 2 of them will be core units. Now, core units are always going to end up in your squad. There is a whole tier list, so have a look at the tier list and then see where those core units rank, and then, get an idea if they're a support, a tank, or a DPS, and then based on that, make changes to your team. If you also want to top up, there is a single top up. I think it's 6 gems and then 68 gems, if I'm not wrong. So if you top up like in those thresholds, the first one's going to give you your first copy of, I think it's Beerus. Pretty sure it's Beerus. No, wait, it's not Beerus. It's Goku. What am I saying? Why did I say Beerus? It's Goku. I don't think I have a copy of Goku, which is super annoying. But for the sake of this video, Goku is a very, very good attacker. And you would typically sort of put him where Android is now. So Goku would sort of sit here. And then I'll put Vegeta in for now. I know that's not really Goku, but there you go. And then secondly, if you do the 68 top up, so you do the extra top up there, you're going to get to choose a really nice tank. And that tank is Margin Vegeta. I would go pick up Margin Vegeta and stick him here. I don't have a Margin Vegeta. I have really made this video poorly. There you go. It's Captain Ginyu and Vegeta. No, it would be Margin Vegeta here and Goku here. And then what you want to do is you want to slowly start to fill the rest of this team out. What you would fill the rest of the team out with, I would highly, highly recommend, and you should be able to pull this guy, Android 16. Fantastic support. Definitely someone you want in your team. Then you get the option of, well, ideally 2 more tanks, and the first one I'm going to suggest is actually another green unit, and another one that I don't actually have. It's going to be easier for me to show you guys through Almanac at this point, but you're going to be able to come in. So the characters you sort of want to build your team around at like day 1 is going to be Android 16. It's going to be Boo, who's a fantastic free tank. You're going to get him for free. And then, as I said, you could pay and get your hands on Goku day 1. And if you're in the paying mood, what I would do is I'd also pick up Margin Vegeta as your other tank. So now you've got 2 tanks, you've got a big DPS character, and you've got a support. Then, I mean, in reality, you could hold on to Android 16 as your second DPS if you don't want to go anything crazy. And as you start to progress your team, you're going to be able to then make changes. So by the end of, say, week 1, typically your team is going to look something in the region of, I mean, definitely not this. This is, if you're paid to win, this is the team you want to be building. I might as well touch on this now since I have it built. Do you want to be going for Broly, who's one of the best attackers in the game? Do you want to be going for Vegito, Gogeta, Android 16, and Whis? This is going to be the apex of all teams. If you don't have Broly, you could always use Zamasu. If you don't have Zamasu, you could always use Beerus, or you can use Goku. They are going to be okay options, but realistically, Broly is the one. With tanks, if you don't have Vegito, again, Margin Vegeta is a very good option. Android 18 is a very good option. And I mean, if you really have no one, Margin Buu over here is pretty decent as well. But in reality, Vegito is going to sit at the apex of all of that. There isn't anyone that does what Gogeta does. He is very unique in his skill set. So there is no replacement. You could just throw in a second tank. And with Whis, you can actually replace him with someone like Trunks. So the blue Trunks is always quite good. And also, I think it's let me see if I've got a copy of him. It is a blue Vegeta, which I don't think I have a copy. Oh, here we do. So you can always throw in blue Vegeta if you want another healer here. But again, that's really sort of last ditch. What I would do is, I would try and get your hands on at least Trunks. So yeah, as a pay to win, that's sort of the team you want to be going for. And then, by the end of the first week, you might not have Broly. Again, this might be Goku. This might be, maybe you've got Android 18 and you've got Margin Vegeta here. 16, I think everyone should just have. And Whis, you can start to pull from the second week. You should be able to get him by the second week, as long as you do all your pulls. So in reality, most of this team is fine. And Gogeta, I'll just show you how to get Gogeta. So if you're doing many pulls throughout, your time here, and you come into the shop, you can actually come into, it's this shop here, the fighter shop. Gogeta costs 5,000. So everyone can pick up a copy of Gogeta at some point. I do highly recommend picking up Gogeta from this shop. So Gogeta from this shop, Whis from your second week, recruits, and then everything else you can pretty much get. And you might get lucky with some of your recruits. Maybe you pick up a Broly, maybe you pick up some of the other really cool units. But typically, your end team, you kind of want your end team by the end of, say, week 1, week 2 to look similar to this. Now, I understand you ain't going to have the power, the stars, or even the power, but this is going to be your meta, like, creme de la creme team. Of course, there are alternatives, there are cheaper alternatives, and if you hit those other core units, you're more than welcome to. I do recommend you watch the tier list video where we talk about, I guess, different variations. So you might want to go something like Margin Vegeta with Trunks. You could then throw in something like Cell. So there is a version of Cell, which I don't have. Wow, I keep merging everything. That's my issue. This version of Cell is really cool. So you could go this version of Cell with Margin Vegeta and Trunks, and then have Android 16, and then pick a DPS. It could be Goku, it could be Beerus, it could be Zamasu, and you could have like an additional like DPS that way. Very valid and strong team. You'll probably make you'll probably be able to challenge even the meta teams with a team like that. So there is a lot of option there, guys. You're not limited to exactly what I say as well. So be creative with your team selections. Go read through the skills. I'm only showcasing what the strongest accounts could look like at the end of the day. So yeah, be creative and jump on the Discord, ask questions. There is a huge group of people out on there now who are always ready to answer. So go and check that out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.